Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you ate some good food and opened some nice presents. But today we're going to be looking at a little bit of a sad Christmas story. This is a Daniel Larson Christmas. So Daniel starts off his Christmas day by complaining about having to pay for a hotel, stating he now needs to make back his $120 he spent.
Okay, so last night I spent $120 on a motel room, so now I have to make all that money back. Whew.
If you haven't watched the previous video, I suggest you do because that would give you a little bit more context to this, but I'll go ahead and give you a short rundown. Basically, a couple of days ago, Daniel, he kind of got into a little bit of a scruffle in a hotel with the attendant due to someone trolling him, saying that they had paid for a whole week for him and Grace Vanderwall to meet. So, Daniel had to pay for a hotel room after that, and I guess now he's down $120. So that whatever. He also begins complaining about not being able to find a place that's open for him to eat breakfast because of course it's Christmas Day and nobody is open. So he kind of walks around and is complaining that he needs to find a place to eat breakfast.
Alrighty, so now I'm trying to see. There's nothing open. I'm trying to get something for breakfast.
So Daniel's luck actually begins to change a little bit. He finds a Starbucks, which is cool. So he eats breakfast at the Starbucks. And he gives his fans he gives them his Christmas well wishes and everything. It's all good, but things begin to change after that.
Happy Christmas 2023.
In the coming up clip, we'll see a common character in Daniel Larson lore show up once again, Mr. Bob Proctor. So Daniel wants to spend his Christmas with Bob Proctor. He wants to take him out to dinner and give him a present. So we'll see Daniel try to reach out to Bob in the coming up clips.
Well, Bob canceled. Can't even get a hold of him. I think he's actually dead. So, that's serious. Something's going on.
So, Daniel becomes a little bit worried when Bob doesn't answer his messages. For a little bit of context to that, earlier this month, a person who was claiming to be a nurse by the name of Julia stated that they knew of Bob's death. So Daniel's been kind of a little bit worried about Bob's condition and actually thought that he had passed away for a while. But don't get Daniel confused. He doesn't really care about Bob at all. He usually uses him for money or whatever else. So any kind of worry that Daniel has is just basically based upon not being able to receive money or free help from Bob in the future.
All plans for Christmas are canceled, and I can't get a hold of Bob at all. So I don't even know if he's alive.
Daniel starts acting extremely dramatic. because Bob basically doesn't want anything to do with him and is ignoring him after all the abuse that Daniel has put him through. So basically, Daniel becomes very, upset and actually calls the police to do a wellness check on Bob. And we'll also see that in the next clip.
Alrighty, so I just called in a wellness check on Bob. I will try to see if he's okay or not.
I find this clip to be so funny, the way Daniel is kind of like, well, Bob didn't answer my text, so he must be dead. You know what I mean? It's like somebody doesn't answer him, and he instantly thinks that they died, and that he calls a wellness check to their house. So basically, Daniel wastes police time and taxpayers' money to send police out and to go check on this guy, who's basically like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this weirdo, so Larson gets upset, and we can see him, begin to kind of sort of understand that Bob just basically doesn't want anything to do with him anymore.
It is Christmas 2023, and I have called 911 to do a wellness check on Bob. The officer has told me that he is on site. Okay, it is Christmas 2023. The police officer just got back to me and told me that Bob is alive and well. It is Christmas 2023, and I just spoke to the police officer that did the wellness check on Bob, and the officer said Bob wants zero contact with me.
It's crazy the way it takes a whole police officer being sent out to this guy's house for Daniel to kind of get it through his head that this guy, obviously, he wants zero contact with you, dude. If he isn't responding to your messages or your calls, after all the things that you've done to him, you kind of, you wouldn't understand that the guy doesn't want anything to do with you.
Okay, so I have canceled all of my plans for Christmas, and I am not celebrating at all.
So Daniel throws it in everyone's face. He says, I'm done. I'm not having Christmas anymore. It's over. I'm not eating anything. Well, even after the police go to Bob's house and he says he wants zero contact with him, later, we see in YouTube comments that Daniel actually showed up at Bob's house, trying to give him presents. So even still, after being told that, Bob wants zero contact with him, he continues to show up at his house. So somehow Daniel gets away with, wasting police time, showing up at people's house, destroying property. He just does these things on a daily basis.
Okay, it is Christmas 2023, and I am doing zero celebration, and I will be on the streets for the next 3 weeks.
So we end on sort of a sad note there, with Daniel claiming that he's going to be on the streets for the next 30 weeks, whatever that means. I don't know why he has to be on the street for that exact amount of time. I'm not that deep in, I don't know why it needs to be 30 weeks, but guess he's going to be on the streets for 30 weeks. And that's basically the end of Daniel Larson's Christmas. Instead of kind of keeping to himself, maybe, grabbing a hot meal, sitting down under a tree and kind of chilling for Christmas, he decides to harass Bob Proctor and, again, become a nuisance in his life. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more Daniel Larson content. I'll probably have another video out tomorrow, because there's always stuff going on in the local community, whether it's Daniel or someone else. Who knows? We'll see. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Actually, here's a little bit of an update. So Daniel posted videos and deleted videos of him actually having a meltdown on TikTok. So these videos I didn't catch, but they were caught by the Daniel Larson wiki. So I was just going over the wiki, making sure that I had everything, good for this video, and making sure that I didn't miss any like small details throughout the videos that I personally downloaded off of his TikTok. I was looking and I see that they had already, sort of made their own overview of this meltdown themselves. And he actually is in the hospital currently. So there's no physical proof that I can show you or no videos that I can show you, but you're just going to have to take my word that Daniel Larson did have a mental breakdown after not being able to contact Mr. Bob Proctor. So let's all pray for Daniel and hope that he makes a quick recovery.